Today is April 10th, and it is Good Friday. Tonight, we will have a live service at 7, which will then be uploaded to other formats following its completion. It will be a service of darkness at 10 Bray. This morning, as we enter into this day, I want to read again from the Gospel of Matthew, selecting a few passages that speak to the beginning of this day. Early in the morning, this is chapter 27. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people reached the decision to have Jesus put to death. They bound him, led him away, and turned him over to Pilate, the governor. Jesus was brought before the governor, and the governor said, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus replied, "That is what you say." But he didn't answer when the chief priests and elders accused him. Then Pilate said, "Don't you hear the testimony they bring against you?" But he didn't answer, not even a single word. And so the governor was greatly amazed. What unfolded from that moment was hard for us to hear, hard for us to even believe could happen. Tonight we will walk through every one of those moments. Were we in the sanctuary together, little by little, candles would be extinguished to final darkness. Good Friday has always been an emotional day for me. There are times when it is hard to even sing the songs because tears come to the surface. This is the day. Also, we hear today of Judas finally realizing the horror of what he has done and trying to undo it, trying to take back those silver coins, trying to turn aside from what he has done to condemn an innocent man. Sadly, in the full realization of it, Judas takes his own life. You know, in our journey to the cross, we have been invited to be with Jesus, to follow in his footsteps in all ways that we can. And we have been invited to learn from him. Much of the teachings that we know beyond the parables come from this week and the final times with people and with those disciples. We know that they gathered as we did Maundy Thursday. They gathered for the Passover. Jesus began what we call Holy Communion. He showed how we are to have the heart of a servant as he washed the feet of those disciples. And he issued a command that they were to love and serve one another always. That commandment is for us as well. That time with the disciples as they gathered was the final breath of peace. It was a final moment that he would have with them, because he already knew. He already knew the heart of Judas, and he knew what was to come. And we talked last night about their going with him to pray into the Garden of Gethsemane. And then the arrest. And the heartbreaking part of it was how Judas did it. He betrayed Jesus with a kiss, so that those who came to arrest would know which one to take. And now we journey with Jesus in Good Friday, where we remember the mocking, the beating, the crucifixion. We can imagine the physical pain, but there's also the loneliness, being apart from those who had been his companions, in many ways being abandoned by them out of their own fears and uncertainties and their own unwillingness to accept what was happening. You know, in our world today, in what we are experiencing, in how we are caring through for one another through social distancing, and all the images that we see and all that we experience, we are hungry for resurrection, aren't we? We are hungry for a return to life that we consider normal. The reality is, as followers of Jesus Christ, we need to take this full journey with him. Before we can celebrate Easter, we need to live within the events of Good Friday. We need to take this journey. As we gather tonight, I invite you sometime during the day to read in Matthew, beginning in chapter 27, to read for yourself once again the events of this day, so that you do fully join this journey. For us to truly experience the fullness of Easter, the resurrection, we have to experience the fullness of what Jesus experienced for us all and for the whole world, so that we can have abundant life now. You know, it is a wonder in some inexplicable way that somehow God's love and grace is known to me and to us through the cross. Christ's willingness to bear the worst that humankind could do. He does show how far God will go to meet us in our own pain, in our own suffering, in our own uncertainty. And in that mysterious way, his death means salvation for us all. We need to be at the foot of the cross. We need to be in awe, even in the midst of horror. Because somehow, through this day, it was achieved for us all. Take this time. Gather again tonight virtually. And then tomorrow, Holy Saturday, that time when the world, in the time of Jesus, even those who had heard his words assumed that it was over. They went into hiding together. In some ways, that feels a little bit like life today, uncertain about what is to come. Tomorrow during the day, obviously safely, I invite you to light a candle and have that lit throughout the day. Put it in a safe place so that when you are about what you need to do on Saturday, you can hold a vigil every time you see that candle. To take a deep breath, to think about that time of uncertainty so that you are ready to fully appreciate the resurrection. Go in peace.